What are some of the most toxic or potentially dangerous ideas, beliefs that have been perpetuated by Redditors? We did it, Reddit. We destroyed EA and found the Boston Marathon bomber. I still feel very bad for that kid. RIP. Those 4 words bring me so much annoyance and I don't know why. Witch hunts and doxing are okay if the average Reddit user doesn't like the target. Vigilante justice is cool. Glorification of selfishness. I get the impression a ton of people on this site have difficulty asserting themselves, or recognizing or setting their own boundaries. Because Reddit is full of advice geared toward people with these problems, what these posters seem to forget is that not everyone is codependent with self-esteem through the floor. And yet anytime anyone wants to get out of something that someone else wants them to do, Reddit leaps to "no" is a complete sentence. Put yourself first. Don't jade. Quote, in real life though, maintaining healthy relationships requires sometimes doing things you aren't thrilled about for others. Sake. Sometimes I think I'm here to feel well adjusted. Am I the asshole? I realize that Reddit's idea of how the world should work and how the world actually works rarely coincide on that sub. Worshipping celebrities. 10-year-olds don't need to receive death threats because he's never heard of a 55-year-old actor. Edit. I really didn't think I had to say this, but the kid didn't use Reddit. Redditors still banded together to harass and threaten him. He didn't violate the 13+ rule. Not that that matters, because you shouldn't send death threats to 10-year-olds, 13-year-olds, or adults for that matter. Can't believe it needed to be said. Hey Reddit, why do you like Keanu so much? Because of how nice he is. Why don't you follow his example? There is a joke about humanity's ability to follow the example of a saintly individual from Nazareth in there, but someone better with words will have to tease it out. Mahatma Gandhi. I like your Christ, I do not like your Christians. They are so unlike your Christ. Not sure if I have the exact quote, but that's the gist. Reddit has a tendency to label people toxic and encourage relationship advice that isn't great. People don't come here looking for advice, they come here for affirmation. I always read to never take advice from our relationship _advice in our relationships, etc. And to be honest, I unsubscribed from them. I read them every day and those issues seem worse than they actually are. People tend to go to others instead of their partners. Redditors don't know both sides. You're always going to hear, leave, red flags, toxic. The only thing those subs are good for is when a truly clueless op posts something stupid and you get to see them shredded in the comments. They're like advice columns that way. Reddit is very much guilty until proven innocent. They will jump straight down the throat of any alleged criminal with 0 facts, 0 context, and demand they be sentences to years behind bars. Or worse. Hell, they don't even care if it's the right guy. Just that somebody be punished. Remember when Reddit found the Boston bomber and the guy ended up killing himself? I've been downvoted to hell for the simple comment along the lines of, maybe we should wait for all the evidence to come out. We don't know the whole story. Reddit is absolutely bloodthirsty. Yeah, it really bothers me when people wish prison rape on others. Aside from high rates of wrongful conviction, you shouldn't wish prison rape on anybody. Prison is supposed to be a place where people are rehabilitated, not raped to smithereens. Reddit. American prisons are terrible. It's all about punishment and nothing about rehabilitation. Also Reddit. Lulz, I hope this scumbag gets raped and shanked in prison. Those people who make introversion out to be an excuse for some pretty terrible, antisocial, misanthropic, unacceptable behavior. I don't like loud spaces and can feel overwhelmed by crowds of people. I would pay not to go to a concert. I also genuinely love the people in my life and will always make time for anyone who needs me. In my experience, this is true for everyone, extroverts and introverts alike. Everyone is an armchair psychologist. You post about feeling sad sometimes and inevitably someone is like, that's because you have atypical depression and bipolar disorder, or whatever. Or if someone is having a fairly normal relationship issue, their partner is labeled a narcissist, sociopath, or a borderline or something. I posted on somewhere on Reddit once asking what would be a good place in the US to move to, considering I prefer hotter temperatures and my wife prefers colder temperatures. Basically a place where the temperature is more balanced, like between 50s to 70s. The majority of the response was to leave her because it's just not gonna work. Alright. So, how's single life treating you now that you left that winter whore? Stereotyping, in general, seems rampant. Many comments and posts seem to believe that individuals are incapable of independent thought and just reflect the race, religion, gender, ethnicity, group, nationality, political party, subreddit, culture they belong to. People are varied even within ideologies. Argue points and issues, not identities. Am I the asshole? Used to be a great place where you could get an honest opinion on whether or not an action you took makes you an asshole. Sometimes you still might get an honest comment or two, but the amount of times where I've seen YTA responses get removed or downvoted to oblivion, while others are screaming, NTA. They shouldn't have been slightly mean to you if they didn't want to get murdered. Quote, exaggeration, but I'm shocked half the time I look at the comments. That sub is weird because being an asshole has almost nothing to do with whether you're right or wrong. Yet people in that sub act like if you're in the right. You're not an asshole. Sorry, but you can be an asshole and be in the right. Major red flags here. Op. This is not a hill you want to die on. Op. Play stupid games. Win stupid prizes. Op. NTA. It's your wedding. Op. You get to decide how it goes. NTA. Just because it's her wedding doesn't mean she gets to act like a dictator. Op. The general belief that how an idea is presented is more important than what is being said. I can't count the number of times I've seen bullshit conjecture with clean grammar get upvoted past someone who actually knows what the fuck they're talking about from direct experience but can't spell for shit. That's not a Reddit thing, that's a life thing. Yep, cholism is one name for the impulse itself, presenting superficial knowledge in a polished way, so as to sound falsely authoritative. Kind of like what every grade school child is on their school essays. Except adults are better at it and more convincing. Too many people unknowing assimilate into the hive mind. Like, if you start to agree with all the most upvoted posts every day, and get angry, upset when someone makes a valid point against what is clearly right, correct. To Reddit, it's time to back away slowly. Reddit has a particularly toxic pattern where the first few votes basically decide a post's fate, because most of the users behave like they somehow want to be on the winning side. If something is popular already, they add an upvote. If something is already downvoted, they add a downvote. It's why bots that either upvote or downvote posts by 5 votes work so very well on Reddit. If you are a mod and you don't agree with something, you can ban them. I'm banned in r/off-micist and I've never even posted there. Reddit mods have god complexes, I swear. You'll read comments and think, well, these people know so much about this topic. Quote, but then a topic will come up that you have expertise in, and you realize that people on this site just pull answers out of their ass with confidence. Also, after enough time here, you'll start to realize the average demo is on the young side and has very little life experience. Keep that in mind when you scroll through the comments. There's so much stuff that could be debunked with a simple web search. Holy fucking shit. I'm going to make a Mythbusters Reddit-themed YouTube video and become famous. Edit. For those of y'all taking me seriously, I'm way too lazy for that. Almost too lazy to even just watch it if someone else makes one. Almost. People no longer care about the truth. Make a YouTube video that validates their beliefs and makes them feel good and you'll become famous.
Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox.